Hello everyone. So we're going to go over the perceptual ability test of the DAT and how I managed to get a 23 on it. The first thing that you need to do is get DAT Bootcamp. It's the best investment you can possibly make. If you watch my other video about DAT Bootcamp, I talk about how I got a 25 total science, and it is definitely worth the money, and it's a lot cheaper than going with another big name course. So let's get started. There are 6 different sections of the PAT. There's angle ranking, there's keyholes, there's top front end, there's pattern folding, there's hole punching, and there's cube counting. And if you go through all the modules on DAT Bootcamp, they explain all of these to you, and they show you different strategies to tackle these different problems. And I just want to talk to you about my experience of this section on the DAT. So you are given 60 minutes for 90 questions. It's not bad. I thought it was going to be time crunched, but in the end, I ended up finishing with some time left over. So right now I want to contrast Bootcamp versus what I felt the Real DAT was like. So I thought angle ranking was very difficult for Bootcamp because it's very subtle. You have to differentiate between maybe 2 or 3 degrees. And the Real DAT was very easy. There were no tricks or anything. Keyholes I thought were really easy on Bootcamp, and the Real DAT, it was really easy. I blew through that section quite quickly. Top front end was hard on Bootcamp for me, and I found it very difficult on the DAT because I never saw the examples on Bootcamp that were given on the actual DAT, so it kind of threw me for a curveball. So this is where a majority of my time went into. Pattern folding was hard on Bootcamp, but the more you practice, the easier it got, and then I felt that it was medium on the Real DAT. Cube counting was easy all around. Just make sure you practice this a lot, and if you mess up one part of cube counting, you'll get the entire question wrong. So you want to pay really close attention when you're doing this, and the Bootcamp will describe all of this for you. Hole punching. I thought hole punching was really hard on Bootcamp, and I thought it was medium on the Real DAT. My scores ended up being, for Bootcamp, I averaged a 20, but on the Real DAT, I got a 23, which was quite a surprise, and I was very pleased with it because I really believe DAT Bootcamp just pretty much prepared me for almost anything I would see on it. So my strategy and the way I went about studying for this PAT section is one day I would do 15 questions of each angle ranking, keyholes, and top front end. And what's cool about this is 45 questions, which means it's like doing half a test. And when you take a test like this, you want to build up stamina. So when I got to the actual test day, it wasn't a big deal because I was used to sitting down and staring at a screen in depth and things like that. Day 2, I would do hole punching, cube counting, and pattern folding. So I would just rotate this every other day. I would do this 6 days out of the week, and it really, really prepared me for the examination. I highly recommend you do this. Timing is the most important factor, I think, of the PAT section. The most time-consuming portion, like I said, was the top front end. They threw me some curveballs. And the easiest one was angle ranking. Like, you should be blowing through angle ranking very, very quickly. I don't think I spent more than 5 minutes on angle ranking. The next is cube counting, the least amount of time. You should get through cube counting quite quickly. Just take a second to breathe, tackle it, move on, because you have to be very precise with this one. Keyholes were very simplistic. There were really no curveballs. Typically on Bootcamp, you'll get stuck between 2 different choices, and I didn't find that to be the case during the Real DAT. Pattern folding's hard on Bootcamp, but on the actual thing, it makes a lot more sense. So keep that in mind. The questions weren't super difficult. And then hole punching. Hole punching was an interesting one for me. I actually struggled with it a lot, but if you do DAT Bootcamp and you watch the modules, they tell you exactly how to go about tackling this section so you won't run into any issues. And that's pretty much all I want to say about the PAT section of the DAT. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment, or if you would like me to go through the different strategies that I use for each section to go ahead and tackle them as quickly as possible, just let me know. Good luck studying, guys.